Hey church family, my name is David, and our hope for today comes from Hebrews 6, 19 and 20. Here's what it says. We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner place behind the curtain, where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf, having become a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. The anchor was a common metaphor for stability and security, because anchors kept a boat stable and secure. And so in this verse, we have a beautiful and unbeatable promise, because a boat that is properly anchored can face the waves and the wind, but it won't be moved. And that's what the resurrection and the hope we have in Jesus has done for each of us. Because of Jesus, we have hope. And because of hope, even in the midst of our worst storms, we are anchored, secure, and stable. We have a living hope because we have a living Lord. And while I've never been out to sea or in the ocean, I've been nearly shipwrecked once in my life. When I was a teenager, my family and I went houseboating in the Shuswap. And in the middle of the night, we woke up and it was rainy and it was windy and thunderstorms and clouds. And we realized our boat was rocking. But not just a little bit like it had before when another night we had storms, but it was rocking significantly. And while it took us a few minutes in the pitch black night, we realized that our ship was no longer anchored to the shore. Actually, we were floating parallel to the shore as one of our anchor points had broken loose in the storm. And so it took us some time, but my dad, brother, uncle, and I, we were able to drag our boat back onto the shore. I can still picture my brother down the beach holding our motorboat on a rope so that it didn't float away, and my dad and uncle and I sitting there in boxer briefs and flip-flops as we battled and played tug-of-war with this 30-foot houseboat. And eventually, we're able to reattach the anchor point. And when we're reattached, the waves and the wind and the rain, they couldn't shake us. The anchor kept us secure. The hope we have in Jesus should keep us secure in whatever life throws at us. And the author of Hebrews doesn't just tell us that we have an anchor as a source of security, but he also tells us what we are anchored to, where our hope is found. Hebrews 6:19, it says, this anchor, it enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain, where our forerunner Jesus has entered on our behalf. The word forerunner is taken from the Greek word prodromos. It described a pilot boat that would go ahead of a large vessel and bring its anchor into harbor. Think of it like a bit of a modern-day tugboat. Right? Large ships would come to the edge of port. They would drop their anchor onto one of these prodromos or forerunner ships. It would take the anchor, bring it to shore, and then the ship could be slowly and safely winched in. This is exactly what Jesus has done for us. He came to earth and ascended to heaven to bring our anchor behind the veil where it is permanently fixed. When it says Jesus has gone to the inner place behind the curtain, it's a direct reference to the Jewish temple and the Holy of Holies, the place where God's presence dwelt in Jerusalem. It means that Jesus has ascended to heaven and set himself as the anchor directly in God's presence. And now the high priest could only enter the Holy of Holies once a year, but Jesus is greater than the high priest, and he dwells continually in God's presence. And so our hope is not just an anchor to keep us safe and secure, but it is also a hope that draws us into God's presence. Remember where your hope is. When the storms of life shake you. When work and finances are tight, remember that you are safe and secure. When a pandemic changes everything about our lives, remember that we are safe and secure. When stress takes its toll on your marriage or on relationships you have, remember that we have a hope that anchors us, a hope that keeps us secure, and a hope that is drawing us in closer. And that is our hope that we hold today, and it is the hope that we hold every day. We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner place behind the curtain where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf, having become a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. God bless.